ECSI fans, you want to revolutionize your sports investing habits? Allow me to tell you about WagerWire. WagerWire is an app that helps you become a superior bettor by allowing you to sync all your sports books and track all your bets in one place. See your current action, your betting history, and stats. You could also sign up for sports books and collect bonus offers. Follow them at WagerWire on X, as it's the best account on the platform. Head to App Store or Play Store now and search WagerWire and download.
From the ECSI Sports Studios, the #1 sports information program in America, the Breakfast Bankroll, with your host, the sports broker, Jeff Dawson.
Good morning, sports fans from all around the world. I am the host, Jeff Dawson, East Coast Sports Investors, and it's that time of the week. Good friend and colleague, Mr. Matthew George, live from New York City, the Mecca, as we're going to talk some NBA, WNBA, and a little Yankee talk. As they're railing, the Jays are soaring, and my Red Sox are kind of lose two, win one, lose two, win one. I knew that was coming. But first and foremost, a shout out to our proud sponsor and partnership. It's WagerWire. Head on over to Google Play. Download the app. That is free. AtlantaSteaksAndSeafood.com. Introduce yourself to Terry Smith on Facebook. Then head on back to AtlantaSteaksAndSeafood.com. Steaks, seafood, chops, appetizers, wine, you name it, we got it. Use the promo code STEAKS10. Get 10% off your first and full order. Without further ado, Mr. Matthew George. Morning, Matt.
Good morning, Jeff. How are we doing?
You know, when it rains, it pours. You and I spent about a half hour I tried to get on the Sports Grid, of course, and we were having mic issues with our new setup. And now I'm trying to bring the whole 10 years back together, and I just get a phone call I've been waiting for weeks upon weeks, and it just happens to be during the intro. You know, that's just, of course, how life works. So I told them, please call back in 1 hour. They'll probably call back 3 months from now in 1 hour. But anyways, how goes the batter, Matthew?
It is a lot happening. So I mean, we're after the All-Star break with the WNBA. They have a lot of statements to make and all that kind of stuff, as we saw. And then we're right into the middle of the heat with the WNBA season and some NBA news, and also midway through the baseball season as well. So we got a lot to uncover as well.
Well, I'm going to throw you a curveball. Because we had breaking news, the world was ending. First day of practice in Jetsville, and Justin Fields, I don't want to say 3 plays and the season was over like Aaron Rodgers, but I guess got hurt, limped off, went under the tent and got carted off. Dribbles starting to come out, a toe injury. So it's not an Achilles, it's not an ACL or anything like that. God knows what a toe injury means. At least Jets fans can breathe a little, Matthew.
It's reports are saying from, and including from Ian Rapsheet, saying that he dislocated his non-big toe from Justin Fields, so they got carted, and he got carted off. So it could have been a lot worse compared to what initial reports came out as saying the parent foot injury. So we'll see what happens with Justin Fields, especially since he is to he's basically just I would say the cornerstone of this team, being in the starting quarterback position for the Jets, because this is now basically do or die situation now for the Jets this upcoming season, because not only did you sign Garrett Wilson to a 4 year massive extension, you have to have the new quarterback in Justin Fields trying to run the ship at QB1. Now that this is going to happen, I mean, who's going to step up now? So it's a matter of, now you lost Aaron Rodgers because he's now in Pittsburgh, and this team needs to figure out a way to win games, because this team. I think the way that the division is set up, it's basically set up for, you know I wouldn't say failure, but I think that this is a big reason why this team can be a good team in the upcoming. But now this situation with Justin Fields, it doesn't seem like so.
Well, again, the world was ending because I think this is the perfect spot for Justin. I think the fact that he's out of Chicago, new start, fresh start. Just look what happened to Sam Darnold. No one's expecting anything from them, unlike the Patriot fans who have got us 10, 11 wins and in the playoffs, and the fact that Miami, we know Tua, we know Tyreek Hill, we know Waddle's situation. It's a perfect Justin Fields, do your thing. Brees Hall, Braylon Allen, you got a good D. Now, if the season was over, listen, I'm going to say it one of two ways. If the season was over, this could have been, there's 4 to 6 quarterbacks coming out in this year's draft. And I know it's hard to just punt a whole full season, but when we're talking Archie Manning, the kid from LSU, Musmeyer, and of course, I'm forgetting the number one guy. I'm drawing a brain blank. You know what? Here, it will come to me. My point is, there's up to 6 first-round quarterbacks. But my point is, you still have the whole card. You can call Atlanta and get Kirk Cousins, so you don't have to ruin the season, Matthew.
Yeah, it's a big way to try to get yourself into a situation where you can win, or just regulate yourself to be an upcoming team with young players that are ready to go, especially just like as you mentioned with these young quarterbacks in Arch Manning. And I think either him or K Klubnik might be the one, like the biggest like quarterbacks coming up this season. So it's a very interesting time for quarterbacks, because obviously last year it was all over the place for this year's draft. And I think that this is going to be the biggest step up for the Jets. But it's a matter of decision making, and they need to make it very, very clear about where the direction of their future is going, because I mean, as we know, throughout the years, it's just been all over the place, especially in the recent time, with Aaron Rodgers trying to get himself back out on the field. He got injured, and then he came back. He was decent, but it wasn't great, and didn't solidify the Jets into a playoff spot. So it's just a mixed bag of nuts. Especially, I mean, we all know what's happening in New York Land when it comes to football. It's just been not good at all. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens in the next coming years, especially for the future for both the Jets and the Giants coming up this season.
Yeah, the name I was looking for, Penn State, Drew Aller. So you got Drew Aller, you got Arch Manning from Texas, the kid from LSU, Musmeyer, and then Klubnik from Clemson, and there's about 2 others, so it could be up to 6. So I threw you a curveball there, of course. The headliner we have today, was it smart for Marcus to sign with the Lakers, LeBron and Lukka?
I think so, because this is the biggest move. This is one of the bigger moves that the Lakers need to make in terms of solidifying a better bench. Because we see how much of a depth these teams can have, especially like as we mentioned, the reigning champs in OKC. They have a good bench with Casey Wallace, Alex Caruso. These guys can come off the bench and just give you minutes and give you quality shots, can give you defensive plays, and that's what the Lakers need to do, and that's what they got with DeAndre Ayton signing him, and now he's implemented in the starting lineup. So now, when you include Marcus Smart, who is also a Defensive Player of the Year, who won that award in 2022 with the Celtics, Now you can bring up a good defensive stopper, and it could be who is also a streaky shooter, but he's known for his defense. And the only thing that I probably will say about Marcus Smart being signed with a 2-year deal with the Lakers is now that this gives a kind of a clear direction of where the Lakers are going in terms of the bench lineup with obviously Austin Reeves and Luka Doncic. They're obviously going to be probably be in the starting lineup. Now, that does that mean that Ronnie James is not going to get any minutes, or does Dalton Connect not get any minutes? Because as we know, Bronny James is a point guard, no matter what, because he's not going to be a shooting guard. He's too small for that, and he has definitely proven himself this past summer league that he can be capable of scoring the ball. Now, in this matter of can he put that into an NBA roster and put that throughout the regular season, who knows? The only time will tell. But now we got a glimpse of how Dalton Connect be. But the problem was they used him as a training piece to get Mark Williams. So it was a pain in the neck for bringing him back for what type of reason? He is a young player. He can shoot the ball lights out at certain times, but the second half of the season he wasn't doing that and he wasn't getting a lot of minutes. So the biggest thing for Marcus Smart is to get that amount of playing time, especially coming off the bench for the Lakers. Now it's a matter of can they solidify the minutes for him to be a good player for this Lakers team off the bench and be a good contending team for the playoffs.
Yeah, Chris Paul signs with the Clippers for a potential final season in the NBA. Listen, I talked at length the last couple of weeks to you, the old man revelation. The old guys just getting older, but they're collecting paychecks. They're just, it's amazing. And no disrespect to Chris Paul in year 21, he's not playing like LeBron at that stage, but they're collecting checks. I just don't get it, Matthew.
They're signing basically every single veteran player that is on the Clippers, and I mean, you gotta understand like where the what the direction that they're going, and it kind of makes you scratch your head, saying like, oh, you have Kawhi Leonard, Bradley Beal, James Harden, and now the addition of Chris Paul. These are four veterans that are guys who are around 30 plus years old, and you want to try to continue to win a championship. I get the sense of veteran ownership that this team has. Now it's a question of can this team mesh together to actually win a title? Uh, Maybe I'm not sure because this is now old versus new, and it's gonna be I'm scratching my head on this too, to be honest with you, Jeff, because I don't even know how this team can try to compete for a title when a lot of these guys have first off have some injury concerns, as we know about with Kawhi Leonard. Can these guys stay there for a full length of a season? I don't know. Who knows? And then the next thing is the young teams are starting to really come up, especially during the regular season. So you have to defend against OKC, the Rockets, and then these upcoming teams of like the Minnesota Timberwolves. These guys need to understand of like the fact of can is veterans like really the big answer to win your title? Possibly, but then can you really stay on the floor is the biggest question.
No, and we talked about this. I don't think it is. Good shout out to Marty Lowe. Good morning, guys. Marty, it's getting close to SEC time. Roll Tide, Roll Tide. We'll have a lot of people on talking SEC. Big Ten, a lot of people think that's where the championship's coming for this year, Marty. Look out for them Penn State Nittany Lions. Marty wants to know, and then I'll throw this to you, by the way. Marty's a long time OG from the ECSI family, big time Memphis guy, Tennessee Titans, Alabama, of course, in football. Wants to know your thoughts on the Grizzlies' off-season moves.
Yeah, so getting rid of Desmond Bain is very interesting. So they now understand that they are going to run through John Morant and Jaren Jackson Jr. So you want to get as much value out of Desmond Bain and just start. I wouldn't say start fresh, but I think start trying to figure out like how they're going to solidify their future. Now the biggest issue is that Jaren Jackson Jr. got hurt a day after he signed that extension. So now this is going to be a very big question of how this team can solidify themselves for the future, because they're a very good team. You have Jalen Wells, who is really good, who's going to come off an injury, but he's a very good shooter. Scottie Pippen Jr. is one of the better defenders in the league in terms of perimeter defending, and he's backing up a star player when his head is right in John Morant. So this is a very interesting time for the Grizzlies, but this is gonna. But as we know that the Western Conference is a boatload of teams that it could stack up, probably 1 through 8, to be honest with you. The Grizzlies can stack up probably right now, if the season was over, probably a 6 seed. So they have some. They still need some off season. They need to make some moves still, because I know that we kind of know where the direction they're going. But now it's a matter of, can these guys step up? Can these guys make another leap into the season after having major injuries 2 years ago? This season now just trying to still come back, and now you got rid of Desmond Bain and they're coming back into the season where you have a solidified offense. Now it's just a matter of this team meshing together. And I hope they do, because, in my opinion, I hope they do, because the Grizzlies were a very nitty gritty team that can solidify themselves in the playoffs. But now it's just a matter of, can they actually do that for a full season and compete in a loaded Western Conference.
Let's go to the WNBA. One game, actually, let me go up here. 3 games on the docket. LA at Connecticut opened at 5, now 6 for the Los Angeles Sparks there. Las Vegas Aces travel to Indiana. Las Vegas Aces opened at 1, now 2. Obviously, that number tells me again Caitlin Clark is out. Seattle travels to Chicago. Opened at 6, now 9.5. Any thoughts on these 3 games?
Yeah, so I mean, take the favorites for each of them. Except I think there's a good chance that the Fever can actually punch it out against the Aces, because the Aces have still been struggling. The amount of recency that's been going on with this team. Like, no one, not even coach in the coaching, I can figure out what's going on with the Aces. Is just like, even when they're healthy, they can't seem to figure out to solidify wins. So, but we're taking a player from each of the matchups in terms of the heavy favorites, in terms of the prop market. We're going with, let's see what we got here. Sorry. We got with Rakea Jackson with 15 plus points at plus 112. I got this last night, which is very interesting to say, because she is not only facing Connecticut, who's one of the worst team, one of the worst team in the league, but she scored 15 points in 4 of the last 5 games. So I'm very surprised that this is in plus money at plus 120, plus 112. So try to get that now, as soon as, because these markets are going to move very quickly. On the other side, against the Fever and the Aces, we're going with Angel Wilson at minus 155 with a double double. She's gotten that number 3 straight games, so she's going to probably solidify herself. She is the reigning MVP in the league last season, so she needs to definitely step up with this Aces team that's been so mixed bag of nuts throughout this entire season. So she definitely needs to step up, especially since she's been racking up the stats. But now it's just a matter of her team, helping her in that long run to solidify themselves into the playoffs, because they're right in the middle, and that's not looking good for the Aces so far. Lastly, we're going with the Nekawumuke, 15 plus points. This is heavily. I usually wouldn't put this in at a minus 335, but you can parlay this if you want to. All these bets at plus 352. It's actually changed a lot throughout the night, because if I put this in, it is now at a plus 377. So you can definitely get a lot of my value for all of these, because the Nekawunike has jumped from 370, 335 from what I got it last night, to now minus 290. So a lot of money is now trickling into now more of the Chicago Sky, but the Seattle Storm is still heavily favored, because the Storm did lose terribly last night against the Dallas Wings, or 2 nights ago. So now they're trying to come up with a better sense of pedigree, a better sense of how they can solidify themselves in the league, because they're a very good team. But it's a matter of, can they stay healthy on the court, because Skylar Diggins was actually out last game, and then can they solidify their offense as well? I think Numerico Wunike obviously is being the better player of the two in terms of scoring. She can definitely solidify herself in that kind of sense as well. So this is a time for Seattle to make a run. But now it's just a matter of the second half of the season is underway. It's gonna be very 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 entertaining to say the least.
Anything crazy happen in the NBA Summer League I should know about?
It was a very, I mean, I wouldn't say surprising, but a well deserved, very well deserved win by the Charlotte Hornets organization, winning their first, very first title because you could say this for the entire organization because they have no championships at all in terms of the regular season, and they barely have any teams that are players that actually like win awards or actually be like first team, second team, all team in the NBA. So for them to win their first ever summer league championship, uh, led by Con Canepo, who's been lights out shooting the ball, and obviously this team as well is has a very good system. With their guys like Tijan Salon and all of these guys coming up as well, they did solidify their first championship. So congrats to them. The summer league MVP, regular season MVP, being Kyle Filipowski, averaged 29 points per game with the Utah Jazz. So this is a matter of can he be a good piece for for this upcoming team in the Jazz. You have Ace Bailey who got drafted, who's a very good forward for this team as well. So now obviously he's gonna get Ace Bailey's gonna get a lot more of the minutes now because now Jordan Clarkson and Colin Sexton are out. So now it's a matter of can Filipowski do the same thing? Is the Jazz going to get rid of Laurie Markkinen? We don't know because they haven't made the solidified moves yet because they still have him and Walker Kessler still in the front court. So it's a matter of are they going to put him as a six man? Are they going to just try to implement him in the starting lineup and move Laurie Markkinen? Which I think when Coach did the podcast, that's what he probably wants to happen. So he can so that this Utah Jazz team can just develop these players just like Keontae George, like Ace Bailey, who's coming up this season, and Filipowski, because he's very good at times and he can shoot the ball lights out as well. Is a good stretch for, and we saw that with his time at Duke as well. So this is a very good time for these young players to step up. Now it's just a matter of can they get the playing time.
Before we let you go, a couple other notes. What's wrong with your beloved Yankees? Lose 2 out of 3 to the Jays, Cubs, Mets have recently. Should the Yankees trade away Volpe? Listen, every time I see an error and someone on social media, it's Volpe, it seems. The team is not honestly constructed great in my eyes. Boone's always been a question mark, everyone wants to say. But when your team is so predicated on its success to the homer, especially end of the season, playoffs, World Series, it's hard to get a walk, single, 3-run homer to move the chains here. You don't have the Jeters of the world, the A-Rods of the world, the Bernie Williams, the guys that could move the chains for you the way you're constructed right now, Matthew.
Yeah, I'm not even just talking this from a Yankee fan perspective, but it's just a matter of the general aspect of how this team has just been, it's been very good at the start, and now it's really showing the colors of how this team is going to progress throughout the regular season. So, the losing 2 out of the 3 to the Blue Jays, the Cubs, and the Mets is very bad because these teams are very good, but you need to solidify yourself as a team that can compete for a World Series. Not to mention also solidify yourself in the wild card and in the playoffs. So, the Yankees are still trying to figure themselves out. Obviously, we know Aaron Judge is, Aaron Judge is Aaron Judge. He can hit a home run every single game or every single other game, and he did that last game. And even though they still lost 8-4 against the Jays, so I don't know where this team is going. We all know the whole concern about Aaron Boone. I mean, in my opinion, again, this is only my opinion, but a lot of people have been saying this as well. He should have been out as a Yankees manager and find someone new. And obviously we know Brian Cashman doesn't want to get rid of him because he's led this team to success before. And they made it a World Series last season, but that's also because you had Juan Soto, and you couldn't resign, you couldn't give him give him a big extension because he wanted to be quote unquote conservative, even though he only paid even though the Mets paid him $5 million more than the initial contract that they gave that they offered the Yankees offered Juan Soto. It doesn't make any sense to me. So this is now a race to see how the Yankees can do the rest of the regular season. And this thing with Anthony Volpe, he's very good in terms of his defense. His offense has just been struggling as of late. I think he needs to figure out a way to, better approach the play. I think he's swinging a little too late in terms of the way he's contacted the ball, because we all know about these torpedo bats and whatnot, and they're making better contact. But at the end of the day, it's the hitter that makes the moves and makes the swing and makes the swing and makes the runs happen and makes the contact happen. So I don't understand what's wrong with Anthony Volpe. He's was very good at the start, and now he's like really solidifying that something's wrong, and they need to either figure it out or trade him before the trade deadline. And it's from the Yankees fan perspective of everyone that's behind Anthony Volpe, I don't think they want to see him go, because he's won a Gold Glove for this team before. But now it's a matter of, can he stay, in the starting lineup? If he can't do that, where's his offense coming from? They're gonna keep dimming him down into the starting lineup. He's been like in the mid tier to the low tier in terms of the where he's been placed in. And I don't know where this team's going. It's just a matter of they need to solidify themselves somehow, and I don't know where they're going.
Everyone knows here to go to Twitter at MG28 Sports. I know most everyone else here watching know Sports Grid. You have a great podcast, of course, with Coach Young, and you do some other work. So I always give you the final say here, where everyone can find all your work, Matthew.
Yeah, and as Jeff mentioned, Coach James Young and I do Coach James Young does a podcast Tuesday and Thursday that gets released. We record Monday and Wednesday. That happens throughout the season with the WNBA. Some off-season moves, as we mentioned, with the NBA, and the upcoming season for the college basketball season. We haven't gotten any news yet, obviously, because they are still in the off-season as well. So we'll see how that goes for the new upcoming season for the NCAA. And then Tuesday and Wednesday, 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern, Scott Wetzel will be on in-game live game day with some relative hosts alongside him, as his normal host in James Terrapin is still recovering as well. So he's recovering well as also. So because he just tweeted out this week that he's recovering well as also. So Scott Wetzel does that show 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern throughout the entire week. But I'm producing that show 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern on Tuesday and Wednesday. Again, if anybody has missed today's prop line with the WNBA, I'll post it later today, tagging East Coast Sports Investors, one and only Jeff Dawson as well. And appreciate you having me on. Thank you.
As always, Matthew, have a blessed day. Enjoy the weekend. Tell Coach Young I give him my best as well. Enjoy the Mecca NYC, and you and I got a tentative date Monday at 4:30. Hopefully we can rectify the situation, and I'll be back on In-Game Live on Tuesday or Wednesday or both. So
thank you, guys. I appreciate it. And then, of course, again, we're into the middle of the NBA and the WNBA season, so make sure that check out Jeff when he comes on as well to give some best bets as we go along the rest of the season for both of those sports.
All right, see you soon, sir.
Thank you, appreciate it, Jeff. Thanks so much.
Go follow Matthew at MG28 Sports. Quick commercial break. I know it's Thursday, and I'm going to tell you this. I went back deep into my archives. We're in our 10th year of public service, and me and Andrew have been doing shows for 4 and 5 years here. I have never seen Andrew wear a Jays hat this late in the season. It's been that long. So, quick commercial break will bring Andrew McInnis. Stay tuned.
Welcome to Good Food. At Atlanta Steaks and Seafood, you'll find the highest quality meats from a variety of delicious cuts, tomahawks, salmon fillets, ribeyes, and plenty more to choose from. With an easy-to-use mobile-friendly website, selecting your pick of meat is made quick and easy. And don't forget, worrying about your dinner is a thing of the past. Check out some of the amazing subscription packages that Atlanta Steaks and Seafood has to offer. From fresh steak and seafood straight to your door. Order online at atlantasteaksandseafood.com.
I was just noticing that. It's like, damn, he still got that Jays hat. Go, Jays, go. Actually, 2 out of 3 from the Yankees. They're cooking with Crisco. So let's bring him in. The one and only Mr. Andrew McInnis.
What's up, Jeff? Good to see you as always. I wish I could tell you that's why I'm wearing the hat. It's more so I've been doing routine walks or hikes with Henry, as you know, and so we're hopping in. Hair's not looking the best, so we tossed the hat on. But you know what? What better hat to toss on than this one right now? And I'm going to look, you know that the fan that I'm the most passionate about, or the team I'm the most passionate about, is the Canadians. So I'm not going to get in here and smack talk any fan bases. But one thing I'm going to say, because my old man played ball when he was younger, he was pretty good, and he always preached old-fashioned, old-school baseball to me. You know, get on base, move the runners, right? Get them home. Don't worry about the home run, the heavy hits. That's what I love about this Jays team right now. And when I watch the Jays with my old man, I can see the smile on his face. It's not you see their matchup against the Yankees. It's, you know, old school baseball versus new school baseball. So it's kind of refreshing to see old school wins. I mean, when every single run the Yankees record is from a home run, and thank God most of them were solos, you end up having success. So it's nice to see these guys advancing runners, getting guys on base. I mean, when you see someone get a single and the next guy goes up and brings him all the way home from first base, it's great to see.
You know, and that's where I grew up with moving the chains, you know, first to third, hitting runs, bunting runs. That was the enjoyment of the game. Now, today's launch angle, it's okay to strike out 7 times. Funny stat, first time they said in history, which don't quote me on this, the Red Sox last night trailed by 5 runs, gave up 5 homers, and struck out 15 times, yet won the game, which has never been recorded in history. So, again, I know for a fact you're built that way, and that's the way I grew up watching baseball. And that's why they were called America's Game, the boys of summer, because it was like poetry in motion, Andrew.
Yes, and that's the way it's supposed to be played. But let's not forget, I mean, when you've got power hitters, you want to use them. It's the same way in basketball. When you've got 3-point shooters, you want to use them. But you look at Larry Bird. I mean, the guy could shoot threes, but I'll tell you what, when he was a couple of feet inside the 3-point line as well, that was money just as well. And, you know, obviously 3-pointers count for more and home runs count for a little bit more sometimes, but it's all about the consistency. And so if you've got guys swinging and missing, and then you're hoping that, you know, one in every X amount of guys gets a home run for you. It's a different way of playing ball. So it's good to see. Although, since we're talking about baseball, I got to say, because, you know, I love following stuff on social media. You should have seen everybody I follow in the Blue Jays world couldn't even fathom why they pitched to Aaron Judge yesterday in that moment. It was hilarious. Like, they were like, all series, you're walking him in this situation, and you pitch to him right down the middle, and he sends it deep on you. So, thankfully, that didn't end up like costing them anything, but it was just funny to see. It's like, and I'll tell you, because it's Canada's team, I always tell you, besides maybe in Vancouver, because they cheer for the Mariners for some reason, but people love to go after the manager. Like, I mean, everybody does, like Yankees, Red Sox, whoever you cheer for, but I think people have been pretty good lately. And then last night they see that, like, what is he thinking? Why are you pitching to Judge? So you can never please anybody.
Well, no, I saw you, of course, I wasn't watching the game, but I was following it on my phone. Aaron Judge walked. He was getting the Barry Bonds treatment, and I was like, all right, I applaud that. And then the one time, of course, you pitched to him when you should have walked him, you know, and he still, I don't think the ball's landed yet, but that's okay. Great series, you move on. 4 games in the CFL. Listen, I'm coming on your channel tomorrow, 10:15, 10:30 Eastern, whenever we get there. I said something on your channel. I'm sticking with it. I said if Calgary goes in and wins, they're the best team right now in the CFL. Now, we could talk about what they did at home, and then they compiled it on the road. This Calgary team needs a little respect right now.
Oh, they do. I mean, going into last week's game, if somebody told me their power rankings, they had Calgary number 1, I wouldn't have agreed. if people are telling me that now, it's hard to argue. We're in week 8, right? It's hard to argue that they now defeated Calgary Winnipeg not once but twice. They beat some good teams. The issue I have with this one, and look, I've made some money betting on Calgary, but I've probably lost more betting against them this season. The issue I have with this one, and you know where I'm going here, Jeff, is that it's one thing to have them ranked as number 1, but now the spread is much different than what it's been in the past. Now, I'm going to speak for both sides of the argument here, because if you're a backer of Calgary tonight, you could just say, well, why does it matter what the spread is? Because in all of these games they've played, they've covered that number anyway, which is true. And I've had people say to me, well, the players don't know about the spread. They don't care about the spread. But I think from like a handicapping perspective, when you look at things, and in the NFL, we always talk about look ahead numbers. I know a lot of old school handicappers like looking at the look ahead number. Well, this is again a backup quarterback situation tonight for Montreal, which plays a significant role. But if you look at what the look ahead line, the theoretical look ahead line would have been, Jeff, before the season started in week 8 featuring these two teams, and then I showed you, hey, look, the team that was ranked to be one of the worst teams in the league is now -6.5. I know we have to live in the moment. Don't get me wrong. But this isn't a time and place now we're asking Calgary to, hey, just go win the ball game. You know what? Go keep it within 3.5. No. Go win by 7 or more. And at some books, go win by 8 or more. That to me is a little bit different. Montreal has given up the second fewest points per game in the CFL. And even though Calgary's won by this margin quite a few times this year, Montreal's only lost by this margin 1 time. So I think this game is super close. Hell, I think Calgary could win it. Like, they could keep on rolling. Why not? But I think we're in for a pretty good Thursday night football game.
And again, you took it to the next level there, going right into the game. Currently on DraftKings, Stampeders, Calgary -7 +100. The juice now is on Montreal +7 -120. 49 and a hook -110 either which way. The money line, Calgary -298. I think you're going to agree with me. We were talking preseason Calgary, fading Calgary. Now Calgary's Calgary right now. But isn't this like the spot? Now they're not underdogs. Now they're favorites, so they're not hunting. They're the hunted, because they could be the best team in the league. But back-to-back wins against Winnipeg home, and isn't this the perfect flat spot?
It seems to be. I mean, Jeff, you always say this to me, so I gotta answer your question with a question here, because you're the one that knows what the books want sometimes. This, to me, if I'm an odds maker and someone hired me to book the CFL, I would say, all right, let's put a number out there that we're gonna make sure, that the people that love Calgary are gonna just be on board no matter what it is. And that's how I feel about this Calgary game. Like, the people that have made money on Calgary, or the people that have missed out on Calgary so far, are like, well, why should I fade this team? Why would I fade them now? And again, it's not like Ottawa's coming into town getting 6.5. We're talking about Montreal coming into town. And I understand no Davis Alexander. It's a tough task. And I'm very curious, Jeff, if Calgary wins this game, and even especially if they cover this game, what the Grey Cup odds are for them after this one. Again, there were books that had 30-1, then it got all the way down to 15-1. But even at that price for a 9-team league, it's a bit crazy. But when you see a 6.5 that actually hasn't really budged too much all week, what does that tell you? Does it tell you, like I'm saying, that they're just tired of losing money on Calgary at this point? Because they're becoming Canada and America's favorite team of the summer.
I saw some opening numbers, some of the spots that I looked. I saw a 5.5, which to me meant one thing. Calgary at home Thursday night under 7. Their initial push would be on the Calgary side. And it is. It got to a 7. But I think common sense has now set in here. It's not going to 7.5, and it might tip to 6.5. Now, call me stupid. It could get steamed to 7.5, 8. I can't see that, because I'll go pros versus Joes here. That's where I'll say on this game. I think the pros will be all over Montreal plus the 7.5 if it gets there. Even sprinkle a little beer and pizza money on the plus 240 there. And I'm going to take it a step further here. Give me a second here. Let's see what we got. Calgary team total. The eyes are 28 for 28-29 for Calgary. Montreal. Wow. 21-22.
Yeah.
So if you like Montreal today, guys, here's where listen. You can take the 7.5, beer and pizza again on the plus 2 and change there. But again, over on DraftKings, you can get them over 20 and a hook, minus 120. Over 21.5 minus 105, over 22.5 plus 110. So the soft spot's really 21 and a hook. Wow. So that's kind of scary, Andrew.
Yeah. I mean, again, like, I think we're going to see, if I was to be betting props tonight, Jeff, I would be betting rushing props on the Montreal Alouettes. If I were to be looking at kind of their play strategy here, would be to keep VA off the field. And I'm not saying they're going to play scared, but it's one of those things where they're going to try and control possession. The teams that have screwed themselves against Calgary have been the teams that go out there and on the first couple plays, they go for a long ball, they miss, then it's second and long, they don't get it, then they're punting and VA's back out there. Don't let this Calgary team get momentum. But to your point, looking at some of these team totals, I mean, you'd think that, like, I listen to a podcast and I try and respect other CFL podcasts as well, but you also want to trust your own instinct. People are now saying that Calgary is in a tier of their own, Jeff. They're in a class of their own. Like, this team might as well be upgraded to the NFL at this point. The big question we got to ask ourselves, though, really, is how much different is it without Davis Alexander? And you know, if this was NFL, I know you and I would be talking about this. And honestly, I think that if we're going to take the CFL serious, I wish the national media in Canada would be talking about this more, because the Alouettes pretty much risked a win last week for 6 weeks of injury for a quarterback, Jeff. I mean, imagine if that was like Pat Mahomes or some big play, you know, Josh Allen, one of those players, because that's pretty much what happened. This team, were they 10.5 at one point, 9.5 point favorites? Toronto almost won the game as like 550 underdogs. Montreal comes back for the win. Final drive, Davis Alexander hurts his hamstring again. So we're talking week 7, the team throws him out there and he gets injured again. So, I mean, let's pull up the McLeod Bethel Thompson numbers. And here's the analysis. Once again, Davis Alexander hamstring is on the reserve. Bethel Thompson is on the Alouette starting quarterback list. During his last start, he logged 15 completions for 192 yards, 2 touchdowns without any interceptions or fumbles. So that's not bad. Looking at his 2025 game log, 203 yards with 2 interceptions and 1 touchdown, 192 yards, 0 interceptions, 2 touchdowns. And then the other game he came into, he went 6 for 8. So everybody hates on this guy quite a bit here, Jeff, but this is what I like about it. When they played Edmonton and when they played Hamilton and they played BC, what do they have in common in all of those games? They weren't getting 6.5. They were probably being asked to lay a price. So now McLeod Bethel Thompson we're not asking him to go be special. We're just asking him to go be average.
Yeah, and again, we know what could happen come Friday morning. Another backup quarterback, another stink fest, another win by Calgary. They win by blah, 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 you know. So, gonna be interesting. But again, the eyes says it's an under. And especially I get nervous at Calgary. They got scoring 20, 21, maybe 22. I'm going to be doing a lot of research on this one later today, and I can't wait to see the steam because it's coming. And you watch it. Next thing you know, Montreal's now only 5, or Calgary goes to -9. You watch, it's coming, Andrew.
Well, I'll tell you, this is going to be one of those live betting games too. Like, you could definitely see the numbers. Whoever gets the first touchdown, bang! All of a sudden, Calgary's up 7-0. Huge number on Montreal, or Montreal goes up early. All of a sudden, you're getting a good number on Calgary. You get that 6-point middle. Whoever. This seems like that game of the week where you could end up getting in on a couple different bets during the game. We don't usually advise that, but in the CFL, with the way things move, I wouldn't talk anybody off it. As you mentioned, Jeff, we'll see what happens in the next couple hours as people say, hey, look, there's a game tonight. I want to bet this. And they start moving around a little bit. But, yeah, I do think the under benefits the Alouettes, Jeff, to your point there.
Friday, Edmonton, the Elks travel to Saskatchewan, 10 points, -112. So actually, next move, Saskatchewan goes to 10 and a hook. Under over 54.5. Juice to the under, -115, -520 on Saskatchewan. Vegas telling us, so DraftKings at this point, Saskatchewan can, basically write their own number here. We know what happens there. I'll do the deeper dive in a second on the team totals. I would assume initial thought is Elks, right?
Yes, and I think that it'd be hard to just avoid going with their team total as well. Here's an update from Dave Campbell, who covers the Elks. He says, head coach Mark Killam says it's a wait and see as far as who will be the starting QB for Friday in Regina. Cody Fajardo did see more reps today over Trey Ford. Won't know officially until the depth chart is released tomorrow. He said, I've said from the start of the week, my opinion is Fajardo will start on Friday. So here's the deal, Jeff. If you like the Elks, you take them now. It's not good. I think if you can find a 10.5, you get it. This line will go the other way. Usually we talk about game day steam on the Elks in general, and we have no idea why. Well, this time we know why. You've been doing this way longer than me. What does that quote tell you? Because that quote tells me they're playing for Jardo, they're messing with the media, and they don't want anyone to know it. Because Farhan Lalji, he's a national reporter here for TSN, he said, if Trey Ford was the starter, why would they want to risk him losing half his reps this week in practice? Clearly, Fajardo's taken over the start. They're splitting the reps, and the coach is messing with the media members. Are you reading it the same way as me?
1,000%. Again, I say this all open and honest here. We've been doing shows now, CFL shows especially, 4 years, okay? I can't remember. Quote me if I'm wrong here. If you've looked, fine. If you haven't, play along with the game. Do you know what on DraftKings, the team total, now they give you a list of 20. I mean, you can go and spend $1 million, or you can get real cute and get plus 500 if you wanted to, or you can go and bet minus 500. Do you know what Saskatchewan's team total is?
I haven't checked it.
Okay. Saskatchewan, if you want to lay minus 115, okay, which is a fair number, right?
Yep.
33.5.
Woo! Man, that's up there.
If you want plus 115, 34.5. So they're basically 32.5 is minus 130, 31.5 is 135, minus 30.5 is 170. So they're telling you this. They're getting 31 points, Andrew, and after that, it's up to you. Do they get the 1-pointer? Do they get a 2-pointer? Another field goal, a touchdown? They are telling me they're going to get at least 31 points, Andrew.
So they've got minimal faith in Edmonton's defense, and whoever starts for Edmonton, it doesn't matter because those quarterbacks aren't playing defense. That's what that's telling me, Jeff, and that's why this number is borderline double digits. As far as the over goes in general for the game, look, I've given Trey Ford a chance, and I might be the only one on a boat by our island all by myself. I think that the Elks should play both quarterbacks. And I think that some people will say, "Oh, what the hell? That doesn't make any sense." Trey Ford is pretty much a runner. He's accurate when it's short, but we all know Fajardo is the guy that can throw the deep ball. Bring in Ford. Every now and then have him pass, so that way you're not thinking it's a run every time. But let him do some play action, turn it into a run. But Fajardo's the better thrower. Like, look at it. Like, you get a rushing touchdown comes in, but Fajardo took over for a quote-unquote ineffective Trey Ford with 3:43 remaining in the game, completed 5 of 7 passes, 78 yards, and a touchdown with no interceptions. Albeit, we can probably say that was prevent defense or bad, you know what I mean? But this guy's going to be able to put points up on the board. So are you telling me that if anybody likes the Edmonton team total, they should just play the full game over? You think Saskatchewan gets theirs either way?
Well, okay, let's play the game. Saskatchewan gets 31. So what's the total right now? 54 and a hook. Yeah. So they're going to get 31. So you need 24. You need 24, and they're telling me right now that the Elks are on the minus 135. Andrews 20 and a hook. Even money is 21 and a half. They're telling me they're in that 20-21, which gets you to 52, which again leads me more to trusting the Saskatchewan team total over before I go chasing the full game over.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, Saskatchewan, they've been good. And the thing is, if you look back at what they've been doing lately, at some of the scores that they've had, I mean, they put up a week 10 spot against the Stamps, but that 33 looked really impressive against BC. It really did. So we'll see. This game has the chances to be a real high-scoring, entertaining game. This is kind of a funny storyline to look at, and I think this one could be dancing all around the spread of this one. I think if you like Saskatchewan on the spread, though, you play it early on, because I think this is going to be one of those backdoor covers for Edmonton.
Well, I have some breaking news and not good news. Yesterday, rock legend Ozzy Osbourne passes away, and now Hulk Hogan passes away.
No
the
way.
Hulkster, at the age of 71. I'm just on Twitter right now. I see Joe Madden and Gabe's tweets. Ozzy and now Hulk Hogan. The 80s are coming to an end. So rest in peace, the Hulkster.
Wow.
So
was he sick? I didn't even know.
I didn't even know either. So woof woof woof. 2 more games on the docket, sir. Let's get to them here. Saturday, Winnipeg travels to Toronto. Currently, Winnipeg minus 5 and a hook. It's juiced to minus 115 on the Argo side. 52 and a half juiced under. Minus 112. Winnipeg minus 230 there. And then on Sunday, the Sunday night special, the Hamilton Ticats travel to BC. Currently, BC minus 2 and a hook. Minus 115. Next move goes to a flat 3 there. The largest over-under of the weekend, 55 and a half. Come on, baby! First one, 30 wins this game. BC minus 148 on the money line, Andrew.
I got to say it real quick, Jeff. It's pretty much 7 everywhere right now in the Calgary-Montreal game. 7 everywhere, some 7.5. So if you have a 6.5 like me, that's a negative CLV ticket so far. But all that matters is the result. Winnipeg, Toronto, the big storyline there, Jeff, is that people were assuming with the opening number, I do believe, that Kolaros would not play, took a late hit, had some head issues before, concussion issues. They were going to play him. They're going to play him. And I think, I can't speak on this 100%. Obviously, I don't talk to the team, but it's probably due to where they are in the standings and how they're going. If this team was cruising along, which is 1 loss on the year, they probably say, go ahead, take a rest. Maybe he's saying, I'm good, I want to play. But that number was opened up, 2.5, 3, 3.5, and now it being steadily 4.5. Even one book has 5.5 here. Chad Kelly still not back. for the Argos, maybe next week or the week after, but who knows what the deal is with that. So Arbuckle remains the guy behind center for them. At this point here, I don't know if I really want to look towards anything besides a team total in this game. One thing I had circled was Winnipeg team total. It went up from 27.5. Now I'm seeing even some 29.5s being asked to get to that flat 30 number. Here's the deal, Jeff. This Toronto team has been one of the best under teams this season. The reason why isn't because of their opponent not scoring. It's because they're not scoring. So if you're looking to take a team total, you want to just take it on the Winnipeg Blue Bombers side. That's what I'll look at. We'll rock with the team total up and over with the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. I feel like they're the side to look at. They're in bounce back mode. Their defense hasn't looked as great lately. So we'll look at that one. As far as the BC side, one thing interesting about this one, guys, and as you can see, we're rocking the jersey right now. We got the Lions jersey going. This is a spot here where you look at it, and instead of saying, okay, this team is coming off a bye, you say this team is going into a bye. And as a lot of charts and people will tell you, it's not as much about sometimes when you're coming out of a bye, Jeff, as it is about when you're going into a bye. You know, people talk about that in the NFL all the time. Maybe you want to play your best the week before the bye, and you can come out a little bit crappy the week after a bye. That's the case here for BC. They're playing at home. Yeah, they're coming off a loss against Saskatchewan. The last week's game, they were off 3 straight road games. Now it's 2 straight home games going into the bye week. Sign me up for BC. This is Hamilton's spot here. Hey, look, we're playing great. We can't lose to anybody. Hey, Jeff, who did Hamilton just play back-to-back weeks? Ottawa. Ottawa's losing to everybody. Give me BC in this one. I wore the jersey for a reason.
Well, and again, comfortably with them 28, 27.5 minus 145. Yeah, so they're in that 27, 28 comfortable. Again, the Ticats are looking, again, comfortably 26. So it's going to be a shootout for sure. Hamilton and BC. So some exciting games. What'd you say, week 8 already or 7?
Week 8.
Oh, my God. Andrew, it's the 24th. We'll be talking next Thursday and Friday, and we're getting ready. I think next Friday's August 1st.
I know. It's unbelievable, but I'm going to say this, and I'm not trying to sound like your typical sports handicapper here, but this is probably my favorite time of the CFL, Jeff, this next 4-week stretch. You know, we got NFL training camp starting. Everyone's talking about their college football betting lines and all that stuff now. This is when people forget about the CFL. I wish I could tell you I've been lighting it up. We're dead even year to date. Well, minus 0.7 units on the season year to date. And it's been either a big weekend or a down weekend. I'm ready for the next few weeks because people stop paying attention. This is when you slowly crush the CFL. August is the month to pick up units. End of July. This is what I like the best in the CFL. It's a 21-week season, Jeff. You know, it's going by fast, but we're a little over a third of the way through. I mean, keep in mind, once we're several weeks into the NFL season, we're still betting the CFL.
We can't wait. We're 3 games over the 500 mark. Again, we're just towing. You know, we've had some good looks. We've had some bad looks. And again, more data, the gerbil, the eyes, and you just try to grab that bottle of ammonia, take a big whiff of it, clear it all out, and go, okay, now I see, and stuff. So, scroller going the whole time, Andrew, at McInnis Picks, at Wager Talk, WT.buzz /A&M. What do you got for the public?
Look, Jeff, I said it the other day. I'm going to say it again. I think that right now the best deal for me is you get the CFL season, you get 30 days free. No extra cost of the NFL. Preseason, regular season, prop sides, totals, team totals, whatever it might be. Dip your toes in the water. We ended last year in the playoffs. I went 9-0. Didn't lose one bet all through the playoffs. 9-0 with props, with sides. I think I had 1 total mixed in there. Join me for the next couple weeks in the CFL. Get all the way to the Grey Cup. And at no added cost, we'll throw 30 days of the NFL in there. Set it, forget it. As you say, hey, if you don't want to watch it, don't watch it. I'll make the research for you. I'll make the bets, and you guys can follow along with me. So looking forward to it.
And before you know it, we'll be talking NHL. How's that sound?
I can't wait. I'm already getting those futures to work for you. I'll have a huge futures palette for you this year.
We can't wait. Myself and Andrew will be back together on his channel around 10:30 Eastern tomorrow morning.
Baseball talk.
There you go. We'll be talking some baseball. So for myself, Jeff Dawson at EC Sports Invest, the one and only Mr. Andrew McInnis at McInnis Picks at Wager Talk. We wish everyone a blessed day. Enjoy yourselves. Behave. Stay tuned.